just saying thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Joel. I'm representing the Absolute Internship team here today. So I'll be happy to go through what organization does today and what it offers to students.
Okay.
And a couple of a couple of perks for Alpha Lambda Delta members.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second, and we'll go with Callie.
Hi everyone, good morning. Hope everyone's having a nice weekend. My name's Callie Roberts. I'm an International Programs and Partnerships Manager with United Planet. So excited to be here today, and like Eileen mentioned, we'll get into some details about our organization soon.
Great, thanks.
You.
And I'm Greg Waite. I'm president of the Washington Internship Institute. We're a nonprofit celebrating our 30th year this year, and we look forward to talking more about how we can help students find internships in Washington.
Great. Thank you so much, all three of you, for being here. And I'm going to go back to Joel. In a few minutes, please summarize the organization, as you mentioned, what your organization does and what it offers students.
All right, thank you, Eileen. So as I've said, Absolute Internship is an award-winning global internship program. So we've been able to offer students the opportunity to broaden their professional and social network while gaining valuable skills in their industry of choices. So we've been doing this for over 10 years now, and we matched more than 5,000 students coming from around the world with more than 800 host companies. So these host companies are located in 11 different cities worldwide across Europe and Asia. So we have programs, for example, in Barcelona, in Madrid, in London, Paris, Tokyo, Singapore, and all the different elite cities. So yeah, our mission basically is to inspire success, the professional growth of students through these life-changing experiences through a internship together with many other students living and working abroad all together.
Great. You mentioned a number of cities that our students had said they wanted to live, and when I asked a fun question yesterday. So that's great. Okay, so we'll come back to you and let's hear from Callie. Summarize the organization and what it offers students.
Sure. So United Planet is a nonprofit organization. We're based out of Boston, Massachusetts, and we run international volunteer and internship programs. We have placements in about 30 countries around the world, so really a wide variety in all different continents and different countries. We have projects and programs around topics like education, global health, environmental sustainability. And United Planet as an organization works with our students to take care of all housing, meals, airport transfers, travel insurance, everything that's really necessary for an international program. But with the COVID pandemic and a lot of our travel programs being shut down, we really transitioned to more of a virtual volunteer internship program, which we can definitely talk about, I think, in one of the next questions. But our main focus and our mission as an organization is cross-cultural understanding and learning, and really trying to immerse in the cultures that people are going to do their volunteer internship programs in.
Great. And let me pause there, and Joel, I might come back to you in a minute because I want to be clear that we're also talking about what specifically there is for Alpha Lambda Delta students. So in general, describing what the internships and programs and services offer. But if you look at, I won't screen share the website, but students, if you're watching, you go to that partners page, you'll see that they are offering, for United Planet anyway, a merit-based scholarship of $500, 5 merit-based scholarships for alumni, and then preferred program fees, that sort of thing. So if you take a look at that website, you'll see the specific ALD benefit. So, and then for, let's see, Absolute Internship. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, Kelly. And for Joel, I know for Absolute Internship, you receive $150 off the tuition cost and priority status for the application process. So thank you, Callie. Okay, let's move to Greg.
Sure. So we're also a nonprofit. Like I said, we've been around for 30 years now, and we help students find internships in Washington. We work with them one-on-one to help them find opportunities in the government, nonprofits, all sorts of organizations in DEC to help them find something that's really going to help them further their career goals. For ALD students, we offer an automatic $500 scholarship, and that's over and above what we also offer for need-based scholarships as well. So when you come on our program, you intern 4 days out of the week, take a couple of classes the day you're not interning, and then typically you'll earn credits from your home institution for the program.
Excellent. Great. Thanks so much. Okay, so we'll go back to Joel. How has your organization adapted to being online this year? We've had quite a bit of discussions yesterday regarding how we're functioning and thriving as student organizations online, because many of the college campuses our students represent are still remote. And so are there opportunities that exist? And Greg, actually, why don't we start with you, since you're sort of there on my screen anyway. Are there opportunities that exist online? Like what's happening now in all your programs with very little travel and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so all of our students are doing their internships largely online. We do have 2/3 of our students are using our housing here in Washington. So they did travel to Washington, though their internships are largely online. Some of them were able to go into offices maybe 1 or 2 days a week. We're anticipating that being the case for spring and for summer. We're obviously hopeful that students are able to do in-person internships, but we're sort of planning on a kind of hybrid model for the spring and summer terms.
Great. Joel, how about you for Absolute Internship?
So Absolute Internship was able to adapt our in-person on-site programs to a remote program as well, as we call it. So basically, students can have the opportunity to still embark on an international internship, working for any of the host companies in the different cities that I mentioned, from the comfort of their home, basically, or from anywhere. So they're really working with their laptop at no travel cost, obviously, and basically over the length of from 1 month to a whole year, basically, they can be working on these internships.
Great. Okay.
So apart from the internship placement, we were able to include different inclusions, obviously, were very, very valued by students from one side, and then from the company perspective as well. So apart from the internship placement, there's as Absolute interns have this access to what we call the Absolute Academy. And that's a great platform that we have where they can go through a course, and they will have different career development workshops, and they have also on-demand career speaker services as well. So with different industry leaders, they have cultural training, they have check-ins with their supervisors in the company, and with Absolute Internship as well. So there's a different content that they can use throughout the internship and right after they finish as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Callie, how about you?
Yeah, so given that our programs, normally are fully travel abroad programs, they were really shut down with the pandemic and all the restrictions and challenges in place. And so we were able to transition to a fully virtual program where volunteers and interns can still connect with our global network of projects in the different areas I mentioned to do online tasks and activities as part of their program. And similarly to what Joel said, we also included some different elements for the virtual program. And so while they're doing their project work with their organization, we also have trainings around global citizenship that we've built into the program. We have guided reflection sessions each week where whoever's part of the program in that moment can come and meet others who are also on the program to hear about their experiences, their challenges, anything it might be, to give them also that social space as well. Given it's the fully remote program, it's isolated, so trying to offer some fun and exciting opportunities for them to meet others who are on the program. And so the virtual program that we're offering is open and running. There's about a 2-week turnover time for someone to get placed with a global project. And the opportunities are available from 1 month up to 6 months, and the hour per week commitment is pretty flexible. So it could be 5 to 10 week up to a week.
So Callie, I think your sound.
Be coupled with their acting the new semester. Can you hear me?
You went out there for a minute. You froze just for a minute. So I don't know
Sorry
if it's
about
a
that.
Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, just got a notification. It's
Repeat the
unstable.
last 10 seconds of what you said.
I was just saying that the timing of our virtual programs is pretty flexible, and so it can be done for 1 month up to 6 months for as low as 10 to 20 hours a week, up to 40 hours a week. And so trying to encourage students to think about how a virtual internship or a volunteer program might be something they could also do as they start the academic year.
Right. I mean, I know nobody has a crystal ball for the future, but any thoughts on sort of when travel might be possible again for your programs? I mean, is there any sort of talk of hoping for spring or summer? Or...
Yeah, our short-term programs, which are 1 week up to 3 months long, they're open and running year round. And so with those programs, we're definitely starting to evaluate select destinations that are opening up. So hopefully we'll be able to start some of those maybe as early as, November, December, but a lot of our longer term programs we're thinking maybe January. So
okay.
Kind of a waiting game.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about something that I mentioned a few times yesterday to our students. So our population mostly joining us on the Zoom conference today are chapter leaders from all over the country. And we were talking yesterday about trying to encourage other students, new members, to step up and take on a leadership role and for the future. And one of the things I talked about was trying to help our students think about the impact that this leadership experience has had on them. So I think that can be a really powerful message for new members coming into Alpha Lambda Delta is, and another reason to join is the impact that it has on them, and what they got out of their experience as Alpha Lambda Delta members. So it's always, I think, a good thing to think about and to be able to express and articulate. So we wanted to ask each of our intern partners, our educational partners today, if you have stories from students who have participated in your programs, what sort of impact it's had for students, what could our students expect if they were to participate in one of these programs? What can they sort of expect to experience and get out of it? Callie, since you're here, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, definitely. For our in-person programs, I think just having the opportunity to travel abroad, try to, develop some further independence and those leadership skills that you mentioned that I think come with, traveling abroad and working in a new culture and area that's outside of, your typical comfort zone or what you're used to really is a beneficial experience. Given that we've been operating these virtual programs for the last few months, that's kind of at the forefront of my mind because that's really what we've been focusing on and continue to focus on because really who knows when we'll be able to get back to our standard travel abroad programs. But I think some of the testimonials that we've had from some of our summer interns was that they were really able to just get engaged with an organization in a time where there's so many challenges and there's so much going on. And, summer plans got canceled, internships, jobs, volunteer opportunities. And so being able to provide a connection to a project where they were able to do meaningful tasks. A lot of the projects that we work with were also very much affected by COVID, very extensively because a lot of the communities that we work with have challenges already. And so a lot of the testimonials from our interns this summer were just that they were still able to connect with a meaningful project with everything that's going on, and then having the chance to learn about topics like global leadership and understanding and civic engagement throughout the course of their internship and relate that back to their actual experiences that they're doing with their project was really meaningful. So it definitely was, for the virtual program, kind of an opportunity we created out of the virus, but had so many benefits in terms of being able to connect people with these projects that they might not otherwise have had the chance to work with. And so it's definitely a program that we remain excited about and plan to continue even when travel begins to open up again and we can get back to our programs.
Yeah. Thank you. Joel, how about you and sharing any testimonials of the impact that students can expect to experience?
Yeah, we're constantly posting video testimonials and alumni stories of their experiences abroad on our website and blog. So I definitely encourage you, to all of you, to check those out, because they're really inspiring somehow. They have great insights. But I want to specifically mention one absolute intern that was recently featured in one of our webinars that we're doing in a monthly basis, where we basically connect alumni with companies and with someone from our team as well. This intern, Jacqueline from Miami, Florida, she interned back in 2017 in Madrid, Spain, within the marketing company. She's a business student, recently graduated, and she was talking on this webinar about how she was fully immersed on this new culture, which is a Spanish one, and basically learning to work with many different cultural backgrounds and a massive international team. So that's one of her biggest takeaways of this program, and that really impacted her vision on the world and how she grew professionally, and personally as well. And she was lucky enough to be hired 1 year ago for Google. So she's now an account executive at Google. She's really happy. Again, as I've said, that we have a whole webinar, and she's like talking about the specifics and all the details and the successes of her career. So yeah, like we have many of those stories that are really, really inspiring for us and for the rest of students to hear. How can you go from, kickstarting your career with an internship or a couple of internships and ending up in a very important position, as she says. So yeah, that's one example of how they are impacted. She was also able to learn how to speak Spanish fluently after 3 months. So that was amazing. She came from a Cuban background as well. So yeah, that was one of her reasons to embark on an internship in Spain as well.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Great. Greg.
Yeah, I think a lot of our students really get great experience, obviously professionally, but also understanding how government and policy and things like that actually work. And it can really also change their career path once they get inside of that. So I remember one student who came in wanting to kind of be, the next ambassador to whatever, like I did when I was 18 years old. But after her internship at the National Peace Corps Association, she really discovered she wanted to do development work. And so sort of pivoted a little bit to pursue that, and has worked ever since in that field. So I think with our program, you get a great sense of, again, how policy works, but it also helps you refine the kind of career path you want to go down and how you can be of service. And I think also that's a huge part of being in this city, especially even now, about, how am I a citizen and how do I fit into democracy and global affairs. So I'm going to put in the chat some more stories that we have on our website and on our YouTube channel, so people can look at that as well.
Yeah, great. Good. Thanks for that.
Sure.
Okay. So, and for folks listening in, if you do have questions, get ready to ask questions. I do want to just ask if there's, so what would be like the next steps if somebody here you just sparked an interest and they want to pursue something? What do they need to do? Where do they go? And what are some deadlines coming up? Because I know there's different timelines for everything, and there's always a deadline for something. So Greg, since you're here on the screen, why don't you start off on that one?
Yeah, so our deadline for the spring semester is November 13th. So just about 5 weeks away. Maybe the election results will have an impact on whether you're interested in coming to Washington. But yeah, so that's our first deadline, and then our summer deadline isn't until March, but we always recommend students apply early for summer because it's a very competitive time for internships in Washington.
Okay. good. Joel, how about Absolute Internship?
Yeah, so basically, applications for our programs are open for both in-person programs and remote internship programs. So we encourage people to just apply online on our website. There's like a form that needs to be submitted, and then we will receive information. So the next steps will be basically they will be contacted by the admissions committee, and then they will book an interview for us to understand more what are the career goals of this student, to guide them through what's the best program for them or best location, what's your industry. So that's the usual process that we follow, and only once then they will be saved a spot in the program, and then we will be looking for the best host company to receive them. In terms of deadlines, there's definitely, for the majority of students interested in summer programs, that's what we usually provide. Then deadlines are around January. It really varies on the location, because some of them require visa assistance, some of them not. So between January and March are the application deadlines of the different programs. For the remote program itself, applications are always open, and you can already like go apply now. And it's a matter of like priority processing, which is something that we do as well with Alpha Lambda Delta members. So, and as I've said, the only one of the benefits is to give this discount on our programs, and on this form submission that I was just talking about, they will have to include this promo code, and this information is again on the website of
Available. Yeah, there is a special custom portal from our website. Yeah, good. Okay. We have a couple questions, but let me get Callie to talk a little bit about logistics, and then we'll get to some questions.
Yeah, so all of our applications to join the programs are on our website, just unitedplanet.org. For the in-person programs, there's a purple enrollment button. For our short and midterm travel programs, which are open and running year-round, we just ask that you enroll at least 60 days before you're looking to travel to ensure enough time for all logistics like visa processing, placement confirmation, those types of things. For our virtual program, the enrollment's open, and so there's also an application on our website. And like I said before, we're looking at a 2 to 3 week window just to confirm kind of next steps in the process to get confirmed with a global project, and then trying to get students starting with their placements as soon as possible, because there's no travel and those kind of requirements. It's a lot quicker. And then if anyone's interested in more of a long-term program, like 6 months to a year abroad, our January 2021 enrollment is closed, but we do have an August 2021 departure, and the application deadline for that's usually in the middle of April. So something to think about.
Great. So while you're here and I see Greg answered a question, let me just ask a general question that came up in the chat. So for all three organizations, and we should have made this clear, so the students in chapters right now and part of this conference are all undergraduate students, sophomores, juniors, maybe some seniors. So our two categories, graduate students, can graduate students participate? And then what if you're sort of in between? I mean, I think all three are for students, for college students, whether you're grad or undergrad, or are they open to folks interested in, maybe they have graduated, they're not starting graduate school yet, they're sort of the gap year kind of thing. So where does that fall in for, we'll start with you, Callie.
Yeah, so our programs are open for all ages. So there's really no kind of window that would, keep someone out or keep someone in. And so if anyone's interested in the programs, it's fully open. Ours are coordinated more on an individual level. And so really focusing in on a certain student's interest, skills, where they want to go, in person, online. So very tailored to that. And so, it keeps the age range pretty open, and, even beyond graduate school, if someone is interested in doing a program as a professional, then that's also an option.
Okay, good. And Greg, you answered a little bit. You want to say anything more about that?
Yeah.
Recent grads?
Yeah, so recent grads typically do it the summer after they graduate or the semester after they graduate if they graduate mid-year. Past that, the Department of Labor doesn't look really kindly on unpaid labor. So, but also we do have a number of international students who do our program using OPT and CPT. So that's also an option for students during their schooling or afterwards.
Great. Okay, and Joel, how about Absolute Internship? Is that an undergrad or grad or both?
Yeah, Absolute programs are for both undergraduate and graduate students. The majority of our students range from 19 years old to 24, but it doesn't really matter the year that at university they're in. It's more related to again the career goals and their experiences, etc. But yeah, we both accept undergraduate and graduate.
Great. Thanks, Danielle, for the question. Any other questions? I'm going to have Trish come on in just a second. Let me switch my view to gallery. So we have a few minutes left to ask if anyone wants to turn their camera and mic on. You are welcome to, or you could type it in chat. While you're thinking of that, let me have Trish come on and say a little bit about how we're profiling our partners.
Yeah, so each month we're going to highlight a different educational partner. So last month was scholars. This month, October, will be Absolute Internship. And then United Planet will be highlighted in December. And the Washington Internship Institute will be highlighted in February. So it's a series of 4 posts on social media that happen on Thursdays. So the first one is just kind of a general what the organization is, and then 3 interesting things for our students to know about them. So be sure to look out for those on social media.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to remind you all that these kind of international programs are basically on trend at the moment. There's many interests from different universities and students, and also companies looking for international talent as well. So we're seeing a big increase of interest from all different perspectives, and definitely students enjoy this kind of traveling and professional growth. They live in different cities of the world. So I definitely encourage all of you to put the word out there, obviously.
I would just say, even now as you're in the school year and you're just kind of thinking about how things are panning out for you with the pandemic, if you're interested in maybe getting involved in an organization that's, around your career focus or your major, or, if you're interested in learning new skills or just looking for something exciting to get your mind off of, the reality that we're all in, feel free to reach out, because we do have programs happening now. They're very minimal if you want them to be, just giving you that kind of global exposure. And, we're always happy to talk with interested students about some project options we have available, kind of how the program works in deeper detail. There's really no commitment. So even if you just wanted to have a chat about our programs, we're always happy to help. And I'm sure somewhere our contact information will be included. So if anyone wants to have a call or a Zoom in the coming weeks or days, feel free to reach out.
Great. Thank you so much. Greg.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that we do work with students from all majors. I'm going to put a link in here so students can see examples of where people have interned recently. And also that online internships are really very valuable. And we've had students this summer and this fall have really great opportunities and excellent experiences. And also you're still able to come to Washington if you feel comfortable doing so. The city is gradually opening back up. The Smithsonian's are opening, so it's still a great place to visit. And also we have a new baby panda, so you can't beat that. So.
Thank you so much for all your time, spending time with us this morning on a Sunday morning. Really appreciate it. And we very much appreciate the partnership. Thanks for working with us and helping Alpha Lambda Delta students. We really appreciate it, and we will be in touch. And I know Trish will about our profiles per month. So thank you so much. Thanks for being here.